So Smart India Hackathon फिर से live हो चुका है और this year's video is something special because last year I won the Smart India Hackathon and I was very excited from the very last year to make this video where I'll be sharing all the details about the Smart India Hackathon. तो जो लोग एकदम beginners हैं, जिन लोगों ने बस अभी search किया YouTube पे SIH 2025, उनके लिए let's start with the very basics. सो व्हाट इज द स्मार्ट इंडिया हैकाथॉन से स्टार्ट करेंगे और पूरा का पूरा डिस्कस करेंगे कि प्रेजेंटेशन कैसे बनानी है, प्रोटोटाइप कैसे बनाना है और सब कुछ हम इस वीडियो में डिस्कस करने वाले हैं. तो द स्मार्ट इंडिया हैकाथॉन इज बेसिकली अ 3 to 4 month sprint. It is a national level hackathon where more than 12 lakh students participated last year. It involves participating organizations such as multiple ministries, government organizations, central and the state government bodies, etc. and etc. They give their problem statements. Whatever they find is needed to be resolved, you have to participate in it. Choose a problem statement, submit your idea. According to your idea, they'll call you for the finale, where for each problem statements there are 5 teams that go to the finale and compete against each other to win the finale ultimately. Now this was very jarring, I know, so let's resolve it one by one. Now there is not one winner. Each problem statements may or may not have a winner. There can also be a tie, as in my case also. हमारा टाई हुआ था एक टीम के साथ. तो ऐसा होता है कुछ कि यहाँ पे मिनिस्ट्री डिसाइड कर सकती है कि आप विनर हो सकते हो, नहीं हो सकते हो. ये सब कुछ मिनिस्ट्री के हाथ में होता है. सो सबसे पहला स्टेप होता है इसमें SPOC का रजिस्ट्रेशन. SPOC इज अ सिंगल पॉइंट ऑफ कॉन्टैक्ट फ्रॉम योर कॉलेज इटसेल्फ. सो इट कैन बी एनीबडी, your professor, your assistant professor, anybody who's interested can volunteer in it. And also they have to get an NOC by the college itself or the university itself to be appointed as an SPOC for the Smart India Hackathon. Now moving to the next step, that is the internal hackathon. Now what is the internal hackathon? Now SIH says that each college is allowed to only submit 45 teams from their college. ये shortlisting होगी कैसे? तो इस शॉर्टलिस्टिंग के लिए SIH बोलता है कि आपको करानी है एक इंटरनल हैकाथॉन जो कराएगा आपका SPOC, दैट इज द सिंगल पॉइंट ऑफ कॉन्टैक्ट. नाउ दिस SPOC conducts an internal hackathon for all the students of your college. It will follow all the rules of the SIH, that is the team structure will be same, the problem statements might be same, the ideas that are submitted there will be submitted in the future itself, so you can start working from there itself. Many of the internal hackathon registration dates are coming, so this is the video which was very requested in my community. So let's start off with what is the structure of the team, how can I participate in the internal hackathon, and we'll move forward one by one, resolving all your doubts that I have been through in the cohort itself and also in my WhatsApp community. The very first thing is the team structure. Now SIH says that there is a compulsion of 6 team members. In that 6 team members, you have to have one girl in there. Now there can be a team with all girls, there can be a team with only one girl and rest 5 boys. There cannot be an all boys team. SIH is a bit discriminative about that. So yeah, one girl for women empowerment. So the next thing is how to participate in the internal hackathon. Now your SPOC will roll out a form or something that will be a shortlisting criteria for you guys, for your college. After this internal hackathon is done, your SPOC will give you an invite, will give you a portal where you can go and submit your idea. Now what idea are you going to submit? जहां मैंने पहले ही बताया था आपको कि प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स और पार्टिसिपेटिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस पब्लिश करती है SIH की वेबसाइट पे. SIH की वेबसाइट पे जब वो लोग पब्लिश करते हैं तो सब कुछ आपको दिखता है, एक टाइटल दिखता है, एक डिस्क्रिप्शन दिखता है और उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आपको उस पर करना होता है. सो दिस इज द स्मार्ट इंडिया हैकाथॉन 2025 वेबसाइट. एंड बिफोर मूविंग टू द प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट्स, लेट्स फर्स्ट डिस्कस द टाइमलाइन ऑफ द होल स्मार्ट इंडिया हैकाथॉन. सो this is the whole time and flow of the Smart India Hackathon. We are somewhere in the August time frame where the SIH problem statements are now live. They were late, I guess, because they got published yesterday only. So the registration of SPOC is done. Once this SPOC is decided, they can announce the internal hackathon, which is around in August and September time frame. Then the report compilation and uploading is none of your thing. The report compilation is not your thing, but the uploading on portal is your thing because this is where you submit your idea. Now We'll discuss the problem statements and the idea thing later, the presentation thing later, or maybe have a separate video for it. So this was the report compilation thing, then the uploading on the portal thing. This is where you submit your idea. Then nomination of the top 45 plus 5 waitlisted teams, submission on the submission of idea on the portal. Now this is where you submit your idea. The screening of the ideas will take place in September and October, where you will submit your idea, a group of mentors and evaluators will judge your presentation, and then finally there will be a result publication. Now this result publication will consist of 5 teams per problem statement. Each problem statement invites 5 teams for the finale. Now the finale will be in a nodal center allotted to you before time. You have to book your tickets, then SIH refunds some of the money, I guess some portion of it. I have to go through the guidelines again. You can go to the guidelines and find out what are they returning this year. You can go to the you have to go to the nodal center then and attend the finale, compete against the other 4 teams and get your place in the winners list. So this is where the communication of the result to the finalist teams is done, where the nodal center will contact you, and that is another later phase. So let's move on to the problem statements this year. So these are the problem statements this year. So now there are 2 categories, that is the hardware and the software category. The hardware category is a different hackathon, you can say, because it is a 5-day hackathon, where in the software category is only a 24-hour or a 36-hour hackathon. This is a sample problem statement. Let's take the very first statement, which is by the Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region, where the problem statement says smart community health monitoring and early warning system for waterborne diseases in rural Northeast India. Now, once you click on it, this type of interface will get open. Now the department is this, the category is software, the theme is medtech, biotech and health tech. This is the complete description of the problem statements. Now, here each and every word is very important. For example, early warning system. Early warning system is something that you have to create, because I've seen multiple times that people don't ought to focus on these keywords, and they eventually make something else, figuring out something else. So let's read it. Let's go through it. Collect health data from local clinics, ASHA workers, community volunteers via mobile apps or SMS, AI/ML models to detect patterns, and so and so. So these are all the details that you have been provided. Now, this is the background of the waterborne diseases. This is the expected solution, what they want. So not all problem statements are well structured like this. So maybe you can find some of the problem statements that are not structured like this, or maybe they have created a structure this year. So yeah, so you can look, there is, in this problem statement, there is something known as the supporting data. There may be also a dataset link for any machine learning project, or there can be a contact info where you can contact the particular ministry. So these are all sorts of things that you need to take in mind. And one more thing that I'd like to share is few problem statements are really vague. For example, last year there were problem statements from the government of Punjab and the government of Rajasthan, which I found out was very vague, because all they asked was a portal for their alumni network. Those problem statements are really vague, and I'll not suggest you guys to participate in those, because you can see here the ideas count, the submission that already have been made. There is a submission cap for the Smart India Hackathon per problem statement, that is a 500 cap. Only 500 ideas can be submitted. Now if the first 500 teams have already submitted their ideas, you cannot submit another idea onto that problem statement. You can go through all the problem statements daily and find out your best suited problem statement. Our problem statement last year was from the government of NCT, that is the National Capital Territory. So it was quite good, I'd say, because it made us win the Smart India Hackathon. This was how you can choose the problem statements. Go through it, read each and every problem statement. There are almost 100 problem statements, 101 problem statements right now. There may be more additions to it. So go to the site, be active on the site, and you'll get through it. The very next thing is how to make your presentation. Now, if you go to the homepage of the Smart India Hackathon website, there will be a section known as guidelines. Now there is for institutes, universities, then the idea PPT. Now this is the format for you to follow for the Smart India Hackathon. This is the presentation where you are expected to fill your idea. The presentation says the problem statement ID, the problem statement title, theme, the categories, software or hardware, the team ID that you will be given by your college itself after the internal hackathon, and also your team name. The team name also has some criteria that should be followed. It cannot contain your institute's name, your university's name, and all sorts of things that you can find in the guideline section. This is where you'll add your proposed solution. Now, this section is very important because this is where you'll get your first impression from. Now, write your idea in a very step-by-step format, like in a flowchart format, where you can add diagrams to it. You can add a flowchart. You can add a tech stack thing. I guess tech stack has a different section. Yes, so you can add a diagram, a figure showing your idea, and also a step-by-step, statement-by-statement idea presentation. So the next presentation is the technical approach. The technical approach is what you use, the tech stack that you are using, the methodology, the principles that you are using, the process of implementation, and everything that you can depict here. A working prototype, they say, is very important. So let's first talk about a working prototype. As of my case, I did not submit a working prototype until we were selected for the finale. Me and my team only submitted the presentation, the idea that we planned and thought. So we only submitted the presentation with that idea. So the next slide is the feasibility and the viability, where you will have to submit all these 3 points: the analysis of the feasibility of the idea, potential challenges and risks. That is, what are the risks, what are the challenges that you might face, the strategies to overcome these challenges. Again, these are all sorts of things, basic English that you can implement in your idea. Potential impact on the target audience. What is your target audience? What is the impact on the target audience? Social, economic, and environmental, etc. These are the impact and benefits. Then whatever links you want to share, the research papers, the YouTube video that you have mentioned, all the research papers that you can put here. You can also put a 2-minute long YouTube video to it in the reference section only. This was all the slides. It is a 5 or 6 slide thing where you can display your presentation. Now let's talk about my presentation that helped us got select in the finale. This was our presentation where the problem statement was online monitoring of unauthorized construction across the city. Now the theme was robotics and drones, and it was a software team, and our team name was Indent as registered on the portal. So Indent is a very basic name for, I don't know why I took it. It was just, I don't know. So this was the kind of idea and approach. Now what I'd suggest is mention all the tech stack that is required for the problem statement to shine out. Now, don't put any extra thing that you don't know, but put everything that you know and will be helpful for this idea. Everything. This will be your key to get through the finale, and which I used as a trick which helped me get through the finale. So our idea was in such a way that let's take a very small society, very small region, where each and every plot's registry is done and the papers are stored in a blockchain. Now I'm explaining it in very basic manner. The blockchain has all the permits, all the data stored for the particular buildings, for the particular plots of the area. Now let's suppose where I'm living, this plot is approved for a 4-story building or a 80 by 20 feet long large plot. So what we can do is, in the first phase, we will take a temporal data and compare it with the satellite imagery. Now, the satellite imagery will give us the temporal data. We'll compare 2020's data with 2021's data with 2022's data, and we'll slowly and gradually find out the encroachments that have been done or the constructions that have been done in the past few years. Now, we cannot say encroachments by now. We'll say the construction that have been done, the differences that are there in the particular plots. Now, wherever these differences are there, our portal will mark them as to be surveyed region. Now, those to be surveyed region will be scheduled for the drone flights, as we are said that we have to use drones in this area. So we have stations all across the region. We simulated it through our prototype that the drone will go with a a drone station. We build a drone station. We had a drone that will fly and autonomously and go to that region, have a survey of the particular site. Now, let's suppose there are three such flagged regions where there has been construction in the past 2-3 years. Now the drones will fly autonomously. They will go there. They will click a picture from the front of the house. They will click a top picture, a back picture if possible, a left or right if possible, and we'll compare it. We'll feed it to a transformer where the transformer will tell us what are the metadata of the building right now in the current time. So let's suppose it says that the building is now 5-story, the area is now this and this, and we'll compare it with the previously stored permit in the blockchain. We'll compare the metadata. If it is legal, then we unflag it. If it is illegal, we report the authorities. Now, this whole cycle was demonstrated in this very PPT. This was the complete idea. You can pause and read it. This was the whole idea: the satellite imagery thing, the drone verification thing, the blockchain comparison, the flag illegal construction. Whatever I said was my memory from the last year. I did not go through this PPT again. You can pause and go through it, whatever I have written. And this was the technical approach that we used. We used the Bhuvan satellite because Atmanirbhar is the thing that the Indian government looks for. And so we requested the satellite imagery. Everything was requested by us from ISRO, from Bhuvan. Then the AI analysis was done again with using OpenCV and TensorFlow. Now this was changed in the future prototype. You can have few changes if it is good for your prototype from the PPT itself, because I don't think so they'll compare it with the PPT in the finale. But if it is better for your prototype, you can have changes in your prototype. So we did changes here. The blockchain backed permits were same. I guess we used Solana there, not the Ethereum blockchain. Then this was again only for decentralization and for the blockchain security purposes. Then we used the Next.js for the prototype, the Kubernetes GCP. Again, these are all these are all jargons that we just wrote for the presentation only to have a complete thing. So there is not information about the transformer that we used in the later phase. There is no information about the drone technology that we used. So yeah, again, this presentation was quite less as compared to our prototype, which had many evolutions, many versions of it while the finale was approaching. So yeah, this was the thing that I just noticed. This is the feasibility and the viability thing. You can see there is a graph which shows a very straight line and then a decaying line. Our problem statement mentioned the thing which was feasible. The idea should be feasible, cost efficient. The very first thing was the survey, the permit that we were creating on the blockchain. Now that was a very time taking, very money taking, but it was to be done for once only. We have mentioned it in the graph. You can again pause it and have a look here in the graph. Everything is researched. So this was in millions of INR. So as I said, we were only taking a particular area, a particular region in Delhi. So this was the price that was required. So after that, the graph is decaying because no more permit creation is required. The blockchain is not to be created again. So yeah, this was decaying. That drones needs few maintenance charges. The cost of drone is very high. That is why the straight line is there. The satellite imagery are very costly. So you can go through the presentation again. You can go read everything what was mentioned here. So the next slide is the impacts and benefits. Now you can go through what is urban sprawl. It is very limited to this idea itself. So yeah, this was all of it. We created graphs. We visualized what we were seeing and put it in the PPT. This was all it. We put keywords in. As I said, सारे keywords डाल दो जो पता है, जो ज़्यादा important हो सकते हैं आपके आइडिया के लिए. ऐसा भी मत डाल देना कि पता ही नहीं है कि क्या होता है बट डाल दिया है ज़बरदस्ती. तो वो चीज़ भी नहीं करनी है. और इवेंचुअली आपको अपना आइडिया जो आपने सोचा है वो सबसे डिफरेंट होना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने कोई AI इंटीग्रेटेड प्लेटफॉर्म सोच लिया है जो 50 लोग और बना सकते हैं, तो आप टॉप 5 में नहीं आएंगे. तो ये कुछ चीज़ें होती हैं जो आपको दिमाग में लेके चलनी होती हैं पूरे प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट को आइडिएट करते समय। एक एक वर्ड प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट का, एक एक वर्ड डिस्क्रिप्शन का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, और एक एक वर्ड पे अगर आप काम करेंगे तो आप सारे आइडिया को परफेक्टली मास्टर करके एक प्रेजेंटेशन बना सकते हैं। अगेन, prototype was not necessary for us. We only attached a 2-minute video with this, and I guess it is here. So what we attached is here a research paper that we went through, that how to manage a blockchain, how to manage the permits in the blockchain, कैसे हम परमिट को डाल सकते हैं, क्या वो प्रैक्टिकल है, कितना पैसा लगेगा ब्लॉकचेन बनाने में या रेंट करने में, बिल्डिंग डिटेक्शन, नॉन बिल्डिंग डिटेक्शन फ्रॉम सैटेलाइट इमेजरी, ये अगेन एक बहुत बेसिक चीज़ है जो हमने बस डाल दी फॉर कि जो बंदा चेक कर रहा है, अगर वो नॉन टेक बंदा भी है, बस वो चेक कर रहा है, तो उसके लिए भी वो आसान हो, वो रीड कर सके। फॉर डिटेक्शन ऑफ इमेजेस यूजिंग मशीन लर्निंग टेक्निक्स, अगेन दिस वाज फॉर द बिल्डिंग डेटा, फॉर द टेम्पोरल डेटा। नाउ also we attached a YouTube video with it that was a 2-minute long video explaining the video. We were not there, it was an AI generated video with a script which explained everything about the idea. After this is done, you'll get a call by November, and you'll get to know your nodal center, book your tickets, and you can fly to that nodal center and also participate in the finale. हर प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट से 5 teams will be there. You have to compete amongst those other 4 teams and get your spot in the finale. Now there can be a very few unlucky cases where there can be no winners, where the ministry thinks that कोई भी आइडिया इतना वर्दी नहीं है कि वो विनर बन सके, तो वो लोग नहीं करेंगे। या फिर ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि 2 टीम्स बहुत वर्दी हैं जीतने के, तो वो लोग टाई भी करा सकते हैं। सो इवेंचुअली द फिनाले टेक्स प्लेस इन दिसंबर. If you guys get selected in the finale, I'll be more than happy to share my experience and my particular story of the Smart India Hackathon finale, which was very unlucky, which was sort of unlucky. We exhausted all the unluck before the finale and got lucky in the end. So yeah, we missed our flight. We kind of lost our drone that was supposed to be used in the finale. Our prototype was not working in the very beginning. Our prototype was not even complete because of the flight miss. So I have a very exciting story to share with you guys. So stay tuned in this channel. I hope this was a very brief, descriptive video sharing my presentation, my idea. My ultimate goal is just to spread information, not earning money. So this was the video that I made. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye bye.